So she introduced me. So I thought that it would be good if you introduce yourself just for 1 minute, and then I'll just go straight to our questions. And then, ladies and gentlemen, please prepare your questions so that you can also have a discussion with them. I don't want a situation whereby I only have a discussion with you and they have many questions and they're not able to ask them. So, yeah, anyone if you can start.
Hi everyone. Hi. My name is Salome Kgoale, and I'm the marketing director and co-founder of a company called EmptyTrips. So in EmptyTrips, what we do is that we use artificial intelligence and machine learning to better manage capacity on all four modes of transport to cargo that's moving in the same direction. So I do marketing. I'm also the HR manager. It's a startup company founded in 2017 by my CEO Benji Kotia, who couldn't be here today. And yeah, so I basically wear most of the hats in the company because we are only a team of 8 with only 3 full-time employees. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. And I'd like to thank 67 CEOs for inviting me to be on the panel this morning. So my name is Dr. Yugandrie Maharaj. I'm an attorney from Pietermaritzburg, but before I studied law, I was an entrepreneur. Since the age of 8, I sold hats for my gran and nuts, and that's what created the entrepreneurial stamina. So before I was an attorney, I joined every single network marketing company that there was. I sold everything and anything to get me through my studies. And that was the basis for my very successful practice. I was never taught formal marketing. I was never taught formal coaching. And like I said, before I'm an attorney, I'm an entrepreneur. And it runs through my blood. I'm also a purpose strategist, so I help entrepreneurs and leaders find their purpose in life. And to that extent, I have traveled internationally, skilling myself and empowering others. So I'm here to support you in any way that I can, and I hope that you enjoy listening to me. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. A very big thank you to CEO 67 and to Vanessa Preamble from JT Communications. My name is Indrani Govender. I am known as the entrepreneur that never gave up. Rock bottom became the foundation in which I built my success. I attended a women empowerment program, realized that there's so much of opportunities to become an entrepreneur. Started at a very late age at 47 years old. Tried for 36 attempts without giving up, and the 37th one came through for me. So I always say never give up. My company started off with landscaping and garden services. I then became passionate in whatever I did, that was creating jobs for people. I then launched the building side of the business, the plumbing division, the electrical, and 2 years ago, the telecommunication. So my vision is always about job creation and wealth creation. It's great being here with you all.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Ngwato. I think for me, 2018 has been a year of many firsts for me. We recently, by we, I mean my business partner and I recently won the bid for a new news channel, the 3rd news channel in South Africa, called Newzroom Africa. I'm the first black woman, first woman to own a channel in South Africa. And for me, I think the biggest thing and the most important thing has been really taking risks. I was employed in the broadcasting industry. My last job was at the SABC, and I sat every day and I read the news and I was diligent in everything that I did. But any chance that I got, I was sitting and I was developing new ideas. I'm passionate about innovation. I heard a lady asking about, grants for innovation and apps and things like that. And that's a big passion of mine. I think as South Africa, we haven't invested enough in it. And for me as an entrepreneur, that's really what I'm all about, driving beyond, of course, making sure that women really empower themselves. I think I loved what Dineo was saying that we should look at women acknowledgement. I don't think we acknowledge each other enough. I don't think we give each other enough credit. And I'm excited to be here. I was telling someone that about 3 years ago, I was a moderator at a GEW session. So this is a full circle moment for me because today I'm sitting as an entrepreneur. So thank you very much for having me.
Thank you so much. I think the highlight of today, for me, it just shows that a lot of women from Dineo, that they're self-driven, and as she mentioned, that we need to acknowledge ourselves, the fact that we are born with these things. So I like the fact that also you're also self-made. From what I've heard, like you're self-made, and I think I need to congratulate you for that, because that encourages us as well to continue with our passion. So thank you for sharing your story. So I'll just go straight to the questions, and. The first question that I want to ask, it has to do with support and investments that that women are given in especially male-dominated industries. For example, for me, I would say to be where I am right now, I didn't only get support from women, but men also supported me, and they saw my potential. So, just from your experience or even your thoughts, do you think that there's enough support that women, get, or investment in women acknowledgement?
From our side, like I said, I work for a company called EmptyTrips, and we actually do logistics. So we bring technology into a very old-aged, male and white-dominated industry. So you sit there with a boardroom full of men who look at you and think. They look at your product and look at you and think, they ask themselves, are you the one that came up with this concept? Are you that good enough? So I feel that there is support, but there isn't enough support. A lot more can be done. I'm going to talk about 3 areas that where women still need support. I think, first of all, we need more female angel investors. I mean, as a startup, we've set with over... I'm not kidding you, we've set with more than 150 VCs or angel investors. Not even one of those angel investors was a woman. So we don't have a woman coming. Can you hear me?
No, sorry, we just playing with the volume.
Oh, okay. So we don't have enough women who are willingly investing in startups or in other women. So we need women. If you're sitting here with your millions, please. We need your support. Secondly, I think accelerator programs, we need to invest more in accelerator programs. There isn't enough of that for women. So I was accelerated by Standard Bank last year when I joined the company because I had a stable job. I was working as a marketing executive for a company called Azura, and I was traveling the world. And then I took a chance when this opportunity came about, a startup that's digitizing the logistics industry. I was like, no, I'm going to take a chance. I'm still young. Why not? Whether it fails or not, I can still, start again. So I was accelerated by Standard Bank, but there is in a program called Women in Technology. So those kind of accelerator programs are good for women because if you stay in that circle, you empower each other as women. And thirdly, we need, I think, investment in training and education. As much as we might have skills in certain things like technology and whatever the case you might be skilled in, but we don't have skills in funding and finding investments. So as women, we need to be able to sit in boardrooms and ask without any fear or favor. We don't need to dumb it down or play to at lower standards so that we can be I don't know. But I think we need more training and funding in investment and asking, and we need to be firm when we ask. And I'm going to make an example with our company. Every time when we go and we ask for investments and etc., we find a lot of companies ask us, why don't you join our company? Why don't we buy you? Instead of collaborating with us, they want to buy us because they want to have someone at the top who's going to manage us, like they don't believe in us. So we need training, we need education, and we need to just earn our seats at the table.
Oh no, I was asking everyone. Yeah, if you think that, well, because I was looking at sorry. So I'm asking everyone in the panel that do you think that there is enough that is done to invest in women so that they can flourish in the businesses that they venture in?
Okay. Dear unstoppable woman, do you believe in yourself?
Yes!
So, I think there's plenty of opportunities out there. It's just for us to go out there and grab them. And I, for one, started owning this construction company, and I didn't know the technical part of the construction industry. And I heard a speaker speak earlier on to say that, we are owning this construction company, but we don't know how to build, or we don't know how to do a maintenance. And so there were a lot of programs that I applied for. Like for instance, I don't know if I'm allowed to talk about it, but the NHBRC program does a beautiful program at the Kgoale Institute of Business Science where they take on women entrepreneurs and they take you through a whole training program where I went in for a whole year and then finally graduated there. And as I said, I started at a late age at 47, but it's never too late because I actually came second position out of 100 businesswomen there. A lot of opportunities, there's always programs, but we must be hungry to go out there and grab these opportunities. And there's many organizations that are springing up right now, and I, for one, when I started a women's organization called the Dynamic Women International Group, because everyone started asking me for help. And I could not help each and every one of these women. So I decided, let me form a WhatsApp group. And whatever opportunities that's coming in, we will put it onto this group. And today in here, I was quite excited to see some of the dynamic women that actually traveled all the way here from Durban and all over the place to come into this, to learn and grow. So those are some of the things that many people are providing out there. I think that we must go out there and grab these opportunities. And it's never enough. So the others who think that you can make a difference in this entrepreneur's life, don't just keep the knowledge with you all. Share, share, and share.
Thanks, Indrani. I actually like her idea of the WhatsApp group. I'm going to steal that. I think for me, I always think of myself as a visionary. I feel like I come up with, ideas and concepts. And yes, you might not be an IT technician when you come up with the latest innovation in terms of solving daily problems, because that's what innovation is about. It's about answering daily questions, everyday problems that you and I have, and making life easier for people. And that's what people invest in. So for me, I think as women, we need to start looking at ourselves as visionaries. It's okay to come up with ideas, but you need to believe in those ideas more than anybody else. I think it took me a long time to be able to say, I'm now ready to leave employment and get into business. For me, it had to be a very calculated move, especially because of the industry that I'm in. I'm in media, so I had to be really careful about how I make a move and when I make a move. And I think as women, yes, we want to be empowered, yes, we want to access opportunities, but we also need to be deliberate in what we do. So it's every day committing to whatever it is that you want to do. There are opportunities, there are support programs. I've worked a lot with the Gauteng Department of Economic Development through my digital agency, and what I saw there are so many opportunities, but entrepreneurs aren't accessing them, and sometimes it's them not communicating those opportunities. So I think we need to do more in finding out what opportunities are available in the different industries that we're interested in. I think, like I said, it's a brilliant idea to be able to share information amongst ourselves. a lot of the time women in leadership positions and women who are really thriving don't have enough time to engage with you and meet you for a cup of coffee. But they do have time to text. They do have time, as Dino mentioned, to have live tweets where you can ask questions and they answer you. So don't be despondent when you ask for help and someone says they don't have time for you. So just say, can I quickly just send you like a little paragraph with a few questions, and then you answer that when you're ready. And then just remind them, people do want to help you, it's just that sometimes they can't help you the way you want to be helped. And I think just one last point. Recently I was at an awards evening, I was getting an award for something, and going on the stage and saying my thank you speech, it made me sad that there wasn't a single woman in the industry that I could thank for helping me in this space. And in that moment, I thought, I want to be that woman. Yeah. I want, in 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, someone to say, I answered a call, I responded to a text, or I gave them an opportunity to be able to thrive. And I think as women, we really need to have honest conversations, because a lot of the time we don't, honest conversations about what are we doing just with each other, around each other, you know, how do we engage with each other? Because I think it's important. It's one thing to say, is there enough support? Are there enough opportunities? But are we sharing that with each other? Are we learning from each other? And I think for me, that's like a huge, huge passion to always bring women along. It doesn't have to be women that are your friends or family. It can be anyone that you see potential in. I mean, there's many women I see even now. I'm always looking around because we're in our recruitment phase for our channel. So I'm always looking for like new faces, new voices, people that are interesting and that have never had opportunities. And I think we need to start thinking like that there's so much more you can do, but you just need to know that you can do it, and you need to believe that you can do it. And tap on someone's shoulder and say, hey, listen, people tweet me for jobs. They Instagram me, they do the most. And I'm always like, you know what, I would also do that if I was looking for a job and I follow you on Twitter and I know you. I would ask you in the morning if I bumped into you. And someone was saying, well, they don't do that to the other, you know, hotshot CEOs and whatever. And I'm like, but yeah, they can relate to me because I am young, I am a woman, and I'm black. So they feel like they can come to me. And I'm always grateful that I've been put in a position where I can make, even if it's the smallest of difference. So I think that's what we should think about in terms of opportunities. I think we should maybe go beyond asking, are there enough opportunities, to say, what are we doing in order to access those opportunities?
For me, entrepreneurship is the opposite of entitlement. And yes, there's a lot more that can be done. But for me, as a small to medium-sized attorney, practicing in a little town of Pietermaritzburg, I do not get corporate support. My trust account isn't large enough for the banks to consider me as the panel. So what did I do? I disrupted my life. I took 250,000 rand, and instead of spending it on marketing my business, I attended my first international business conference. And then my brand exploded exponentially. Today, I'm the director of Empower Billion Women, which is a global organization that supports the funding of women organizations. And I have a company in the US. Yesterday, I met with Invest India, where again I'm positioning myself as an international lawyer. And today, I have international clients supporting me.
Come on now, come on.
Corporate South Africa has not supported me. So we need to disrupt ourselves.
Yes.
While we can be powerful agents of change, we need to look on how can we create and what can we do. And that's what I'm here to support again.
I'm inspired. I just like how, you know, you are pushing us not to just only look for opportunities or wait for opportunities, but we should also make opportunities. So, it brings me back to my second question, and Thabile touched on it a little bit. So my question is, because I mentioned that I'm in the education sector, so you understand, because I don't want to just ask a general question to all of you. So I'll just give you a scenario, right? So when I started with, in the research industry, I spoke to the head of department, and I told him that I'm interested in research, institutional research, that is what I want to do. And he could see that, because it's from the market research perspective, he could see the drive that I had. So what he did was that he linked me with other people who are very good in institutional research, so that I can get more exposure, more ideas of how to do my research. And that has brought me to where I am right now, because of the seed that he planted. So my question to you is, what are you doing for other women when you see that it might not be someone who can be in the same industry as you, but it can be someone who you see that this person needs help. So what do you do to invest in their passion or career or business?
I think as entrepreneurs, the first way of investing in other people is obviously creating jobs. And that's a big passion of mine. I think that's important, but also creating the right jobs. You're right when you say sometimes a person approaches you and they say, I have one specific one I was actually speaking about last night, where she really, really wants to be on TV. And she wants to present, and but it's not her strength. She's not a good presenter. But is she articulate? Yes. Is she well read? Yes. Does she write well? Yes. And I thought, this person has the potential to be, to start out as a writer / producer, and then later on we can work her all the way up to becoming an executive producer. If that's what she wants to do. And I was actually thinking about it this morning, saying that's really the right way to do it. Where you can advise a person, and if you're the one who can give them that opportunity, by all means do that, because I think that's the first point of call. But where you can't, I think pointing people in the right direction. Being a person who's been in broadcasting and media, I have access to a lot of people in government, in business, people who will answer my call, people who will respond to my email. So where I can, and someone asks me about an opportunity, I'm able to say, you know what, talk to this person, they will know more, or they'll be able to point you in the right direction. So I think that is a responsibility of sorts. I know it's difficult because when you're starting out, there aren't many people opening the door for you. There aren't many people responding to you. But I feel like our responsibility as entrepreneurs is to open doors for people, or at least help them open doors, or at least identify the strengths that they have. Because in the long run, I think what we're trying to do is build ecosystems where you know that you have support from different industries, for example. I mean, I also co-own a construction and mechanical company with my brother. He runs the ops, and he's there day-to-day running the business, because it's not necessarily a passion of mine. My passion is business, and that's why I'm a co-owner of that company. But I do the business development. I'll bring in the money, I'll bring in the clients, I'll talk to the people, I'll do the marketing. So there are different things that you can do and bring in. But most importantly, helping people, it's a knock on a door. Sometimes you just need something like an email or a number, And also I think we sometimes get into the habit of just giving someone's number and saying, call this person. I think go the extra mile, call whoever it is and say, listen buddy, there's a lady I just spoke to, I think she's really great. She's gonna call you. Just so the person knows, and because you know how it is. I personally, since having a channel, you can imagine everyone's calling and asking for something. I don't answer numbers I don't know. So if someone says to me, you're going to receive a call, then I'm able to say, give me the number, I'll save it so that when the person calls, I know who they are. I think it's just doing little things. It's not rocket science, really.
Yes, I think in terms of contributing, as an entrepreneur, you're a contributor. You don't take, it may seem like you take, but you actually give more. And when you know you are here to contribute, you are about purpose. And so on that, like one of the key things is to create employment. I have an all-female staff. A high BEE level 1. And I also enjoy supporting youth in the township and women entrepreneurs in the townships and in the rural areas of KZN where many people are forgotten there. That helps me connect to my purpose and makes me even more powerful to be able to contribute. So when you see yourself as a contributor, the universe is destined to return that to you.
It's got to.
In business, you cannot just take. You've got to give. And if you don't have money to give, you give off your time. And the more time you give off, the more time you actually get back. So I block off at least 3 days to work in the rural areas, supporting these people who have no support, supporting the girls in the schools. So when you give, you always get.
Yeah, I think from my side, like everyone else has said here, we need to always see where we can fill in the gaps. So from my side also, I found that I always look to my CEO to mentor me, so I can be able to mentor others. Because if I'm still growing, obviously she has more experience. So, and I have friends who come to me and they're like, oh friend, I'm paying thousands and thousands of money to do Google AdWords or to do this. I'm like, are you joking? Come to my house tonight, take 2 hours of your time, and I'm going to teach you how to do that. So I always take time out of my own time to give people the skills that I have. And I also, because of I also take from others. I sit with my boss every day and I'm like, you know what, this is what I want to do, and then you have to take time out of your time to show me how to do it. And I just think that's how we're going to create a strong ecosystem for women in business, by just exchanging, creating an ecosystem where we exchange. The skill that you give to me, the one that I have, I show you how to do it. That's how we're going to empower each other.
I loved it when I caught the first speaker earlier on when she said, buy from each other. And that's exactly what Dynamic Women International is doing. So in our group, we have somebody that runs the construction industry, and the other person that's running the media and communication, and the other person that's running different, the engineering sector, and a whole lot of sectors that we have in here. And what we do, we buy from each other, and we procure from each other. So if somebody needs catering, they will put on the group to say catering is needed, and the catering company will then start sending in the codes, and that's how we work together. So I think it's very, very important that we do work together, as collaborating together, because I don't like competition, and I think collaboration is so much more than competition. And we haven't launched Dynamic Women International yet in Johannesburg. Our big launch is the 24th in Durban. So there's a lot of women here already in Johannesburg that joined us. So maybe it's something that we could look into, getting all together and see how we can work together. And our main focus is, Yugandrie, I'm very excited about when you spoke about the women in the rural communities. I love that because I became a contractor with Eskom, working in really deep rural areas, doing electrification for them. And these mamas have bought the TVs like 2 years ago and had it kept and waiting for electricity. They don't have a shop. They have to walk and walk and walk for kilometers before they get the first shop. So what we do is we go out there while we work in the area, we set them up vegetable gardens, we empower them, we lead them as entrepreneurs. So when we leave the area, we have, because I think if we can help one woman, she can take care of her family, then in turn take care of her community. So I think all of us have to get together and go out there and make a difference in these women's lives. They are depending on us. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate your honesty about what you're doing to invest to other women. And what I take from what you say is that the different ways of investing. So there isn't only one way of investing in a woman. And I really appreciate what you're doing. So right now I'm going to open the floor for questions. And yeah, for those many questions. So yes, just one question.
Okay, since it's one question, then I'll give us the most important one. How do we, I don't know if you guys have the answer, but it's something maybe that everyone can think about is how do we make it inclusive for everyone in the township? Because people in the township are struggling with resources. Resources, I'm talking about data and transport money. Because I know that's what I struggle with the most when I'm trying to get out there to get opportunities. I need data to work on my phone. I need money to get to an internet cafe to get opportunities. I need transport money to get here to Sandton to attend a conference or something like this. So how do we make it inclusive for people who are short of resources?
Always a
I'm going to answer so long, just so we keep it moving. In terms of doing that, I think a lot of the time, when it comes to conferences and sessions such as these, it is true that they can be a little bit elitist, where you have people who have the information attending, people who are already empowered attending. So I think beyond having this, because this is important, we're sharing ideas on how to move it forward, we need to then say, when are we going to take it to the township? Because in reality, it is about taking it there. Instead of expecting people in the township to access transport, it's so much for them. For us, it might not be, but it is a lot. And I think there are organizations that are doing it, but I think amongst ourselves, we must have those conversations and say, how are we going to then take it to the rural areas, take it to the townships? Because whether or not we still live in townships, but I'm sure you know people who still live there, or your parents are still there, your parents are still in rural areas. So it's doing those little things when you are going home to visit your parents. Just speak to one of the school principals and say you're going to come in and have a chat to some of the girls in the school about opportunities or about anything that a lot of girls are just looking for someone to come in and speak to them about a lot of things. So I think it's really just taking it back to the township instead of expecting them to attend all of these big events in the city. Yeah.
Hi everyone, my name is Jackie. To Thabile, I own a recruitment company, so I heard you saying that you own a recruitment drive, that we would be here to support you. To anyone on the panel, do you ever get to a point where you hit an entrepreneur's block, and how do you overcome that? The reason why I'm asking that, I'm at a point where I'm trying to move from the traditional way of doing recruitment, and I want to venture into something more now, in the 20s, what the other recruitment companies are doing and all of that. But I feel like I've just hit a block in terms of, okay, what is the next phase in terms of my business? How do I expand and all of that? Yeah.
So again, I'm going to refer back to my company, EmptyTrips. So when we launched a product called, I hope I'm answering your question. So we launched a product called Roadbox, where we were trying to fill up the 33% empty capacity that's moving on road by trucks. So all those trucks that are moving on the M3 are running empty and causing unnecessary carbon emissions. So that was the plan when we launched. It was a great idea when we started. We were like, this is the most fantastic thing that has ever hit South Africa. And it didn't work out. It didn't work out. The industry is very fragmented because of, like I said, corporates don't want to partner with us. They take your idea and they incorporate it in-house. So because they have the balance sheet, and that's one of the issues. If you are in here and you're corporate, stop doing that. Like you just balance. So that was one of the issues. And we came again and we did an insurance product, which is called SureFox. First of its kind GIT cargo insurance in Africa, where you can, as fast as you can click, that's as fast as you can get your cargo insured. Again, we had corporates as well fighting with us because we didn't own an FSP license. And they were like, oh, there's this new policies, legislations, then we can't assist you anymore. You need to go and get your own FSP license so you can do the insurance yourself. So this again is another block from corporates. And we're like, okay, next step, what are we doing? So we launched a product called Rail Fox, which is now filling empty capacity on rail. So what I'm trying to get to here is that you need to always sit in the room and strategize. You cannot stop strategizing. You're always going to hit a block. Failure is part of it. And it's fun because you're going to look at it and say, I'm glad I failed quickly, so I can move on to the next one quicker. So that's from my experience. So, and also, I think, like I said, I'm just going to refer back to my first point where I said training and education. Because I'm on a women panel, I'm just going to talk about, so I attended a conference in September for ITU, sorry, I'm almost done. ITU Telecom Conference in September where the President Cyril Ramaphosa opened up with saying that we are in a fourth industrial revolution and we need to, this industrial revolution needs to be headed up by youth, women and startups. So we need to have our best foot forward in this because this is how we're going to change and shift the cultural mentality that we're not good enough. So we need to have we need to be there first before the male, get in. So we need to train ourselves. We need to be educated in technology so that when they catch up, we're like, actually they can catch up. So that's what I'm trying to say. But you need to always be ready to fail, not be afraid. And yeah, so I hope I answered your question.
Alright, ladies, thank you very much. I want to give you just each 1 minute to just give closing remarks, but we are now at 6 minutes past, and I do not want the audience to say that I stood between them and that. But thank you so much for inspiring us. As Kgoale said, you are our point of reference. We are looking at you. And keep on pushing and keep on inspiring us. And yeah, keep on giving back as well. We really appreciate that.